Thanks for joining today. Thank you all for being part of this conversation. So we have, I think, a very interesting discussion about Hispanic and Latin American market and how it is important for the future of this industry. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think my thoughts are that our biggest opportunity for growth in direct selling, especially in North America, for me, is being able to tap into the Latin, the Latin economy. Uh, it's a $4 trillion economy.
Correct.
It's
Supposed to
really
be the fifth economy in the world if you grab it as a
exactly
whole.
right. If you put it together, it's the fifth largest economy, and it's important to realize that the North American Latino market is probably the largest market in the world. So means that every company, and we saw that in the last few meetings, most of the companies that were growing were tapping into the Latino market.
Correct.
So I do believe that that's a place to be. And personally, obviously, I'm very biased about it. Okay, soy Latino de corazón.
That's a very good word.
So I have quite an affinity to the Latin market myself. But also, just separate from that, just look at the numbers. The numbers are pretty outstanding.
Speak themselves.
And what is really important is that the growth projections is going to continue to accelerate compared to anybody else.
Very strong point.
I mean, these are demographic numbers, these are immigration numbers. All these things tell you that that is going to be a very powerful market, and every company that's in the direct selling space should be paying attention to it as a, obviously as a place to sell your products. But also we know, and me being a first generation immigrant, I know that even more, is that first generation immigrants are more likely to be excited about the American dream and how they participate in the American dream than maybe people that have been here a long time.
Okay.
So for me, there is a great potential both from the standpoint as a market to sell your products, but also as a market where you can find people that are going to be really excited, bring a lot of energy into a direct selling company. And there's nothing like the Latinos to do that. And it's a form of doing business that they're very comfortable with, because they're very comfortable with connections. They have no problems with selling. It's just part of the makeup. So I think that it provides very exciting opportunities.
I think it was discussed today, and the different team members put on the table concerns in terms of the business model, which is quite different. It needs to be simpler. We put in context the currencies because it's a lot. So when you have these US dollars as a unique currency, and when you go overseas, it's more difficult. Or the discussion about how to resell the products, or to do a very large compensation model, which others will highlight like the most important challenges when you go to Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, Brazil.
Well, we went to Mexico 11 years ago, so we learned a lot. We learned a lot about how, we call it tropicalizar.
Okay, very good, nice word.
Right? You have to make your business a lot more congruent with how business is being done in that country. Mexico is a very exciting market. It's been our fastest growing market for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But for the first 5 years, it was probably the most challenging market we had, until we realized, okay, let's do business like they do business here. Number one, let's encourage people selling. Let's make sure we're paying enough money for people to
do
sell.
The work.
So we created all kinds of tweaks to our comp plan to be able to make sure that happened. We also found that local products that were actually manufactured in Mexico worked very well from a price point, from availability. We don't have to cross borders. So actually your margins in those products can be better than the products you're trying to bring in from the US. Once you get through the freight in, you get through clearing, customs, and all those things, there's definitely more challenge, and your prices are going to be not very competitive in the market. So
very good.
When we solve all those things, all of a sudden we saw the business just explode, because the opportunity is there for sure.
So I think the idea is to embrace the different companies to understand the Hispanic and Latino market in US, and then to tackle the other countries, and every country is a unique story. It's just to address properly, I guess, was the entire discussion that was greatly managed for all the team members.
Yeah, well, I think we appreciate companies like yours, Carlos, that actually help bring that awareness that I think U.S. companies do not have. You know, I mean, I saw that. We tend to copy paste, right? Just, you know, take what's here, bring it over there, plop it in there, and it's like, why is that not working? So, you know, I think for 30 years you've been providing some great information and really methodologies for how to do that, both from a technology point of view, but just from the mindset as well. This is what I like to say about the Latin American countries. Now, so you go from, there's a huge potential in this country, in North America, right? And then there's a huge potential in all of Latin America, because that's also a growing, emerging market. But there's also a connection.
Okay.
Right? I call it the ping pong effect.
Okay.
Right? Because everybody you meet that are from Latin origin, from some Latin American country, they always want to know, how can I do business? How can I take this business to my country?
Very strong point.
Right? So, and then everybody in that country also knows people in America, right? A lot of them, right? So the concept that they can be in their country and be able to take advantage of the largest Latin American country business, you know, in the U.S., get paid in dollars for business that are happening here through the magic of technology is also very attractive. So the ping pong effect is people here know people there, but people there know people here, or through technology, they can access the market here.
Interesting approach.
So we could really, so I think that pulling that together, you know, is very synergistic. So that means you need to open those markets so you can really grow your U.S. North American market.
Very interesting approach.
You got so if you want to grow this business, you got to open those markets, and there's so many ways today to do that. That's not so cost prohibitive, and create this ping pong effect between the two, and then provide obviously the right tools, the right technology, and everything for that to be able to happen. Keep the message simple. Keep everything that you do pretty simple, and I think we're going to see some amazing things happen in the next 5 to 10 years for those companies who understand how to do that.
We're in the right place and the right time.
That's what I say to people. You know, our best is yet to come, but it's going to take, you know, being willing to change some of our paradigms.
Okay, no, that's awesome. Thank you once again, Al, to join us today, and thank you
Carlos.
for being part of this conversation.